Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining us here on Optometry TV. I'm Kara Moore, joined now by Dr. Diana Mae Monea. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome, Kara.
You get the award for Best Dressed.
Well, thank you, thank you. Well,
Did
maybe
you know you were
out
up
there
for
would
that?
Be better.
I love it, the feathers are great. You are here to talk about women in optometry.
Yes.
And things have changed a lot. Women used to be the minority in this field quite a while ago.
That's correct. So, Kara, as probably in many fields, particularly in healthcare, there are more and more women all the time. And of course, with more and more women come more and more different sets of circumstances that we all have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And it used to be, I think you were giving me some statistics when we spoke off camera. When you started, it was roughly what? About
4 or 5% women. And now we have over 80% women in optometry in many schools. So that's a big change in terms of dynamics and in terms of things like succession. What do we do with practices? Will it be independent practices as there has been in the past? Or will it be corporate optometry? Will women work for themselves or will they work for others?
Because women have different challenges now, more unique challenges now than they did several years ago. So that might play into succession a little bit, right?
You're right. You know, women do have more challenges than men, if I can say. You know, we feel guilty if we're not spending time with our children. We feel guilty if our children aren't perfect. And yet, at the same time, we spend a lot of money and time in our career. And because optometry, as in any healthcare, changes so dynamically and quickly, how do we keep up with it all? How do we have it all and have any life? Those are the challenges.
And that leads into that work-life balance, I think, that women, not only in optometry, but in all fields, really struggle with, right?
I think you're right. And having been in the profession for over 40 years, and of course have other friends in a variety of other different professions, work-life balance, I think we should throw it out. And I think we should call it work-life imbalance. And that is whatever rises to the top at that moment and in the order of priority and emergency becomes the work-life top priority.
And you have some key questions that you think practitioners or maybe female optometrists should really be asking themselves, right? Like things like what really matters or what is success, things like that.
Yes, I think that the constant battle that I see among all women professionals, how do I rate my climb in the corporation or in my business against the needs of my family? Mm-hmm. How do I put it in perspective and maintain some type of sanity? So I really have to say this, having been there, done it, and still doing it in some sense or the other with my kids having grown up, I have to say this always, when there's a doubt, put family first.
Is that your advice for women in this field?
It is. Because at the end of the game, the most important thing for any mother or any parent is to see your kids happy and well taken care of. Nothing else matters.
That's the takeaway, you think?
That's what I would say.
Okay, very good. Dr. Monea, thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us here on Optometry TV.